This is the AEW Dynamite February 26, 2025 full show results video which takes place at Frontwave Arena in Oceanside, California. We toss to a loading dock where Adam Copeland drives up in an ambulance and tells Death Riders their ride has arrived. We get a promo video from Maxwell Jacob Friedman as he gets his AEW ankle tattoo removed and complains about the fans not properly loving him and choosing Hangman over him. The only three letters that matter to him now are MJF. Commentary raises the question of whether Adam Page is even here tonight, and he drives up and heads right to the ring for his match. Then we saw a match between Aaron Solo versus Hangman Adam Page, and the result of this match was Adam Page won the match by pinfall with buckshot. Post-match, Hangman says he hates running out of biscuits and when a guy with a leaky spray tan spits in his face, so he's going to sit here in the ring until somebody drags Maxwell Jacob Friedman out here for the ass beating of a lifetime. MJF comes on down with a bloody towel in his hand and gets on the mic from the stage. Max says Page is heartless and he's not fighting him right now, and he doesn't know if he has a prayer at Revolution even, and in fact he's going to go back home to Long Island, New York to train his status off and get ready for their match. He comes back out halfway through the tunnel to say he forgot why he came out here. He's awfully worried about Hangman's friend and he should probably check on him, because now is the part when we find out who is actually real. Then we cut to backstage where Christopher Daniels is laying battered and bloody in some scaffolding, crimson mask and his shirt soaked through. Page grabs his chair and heads through the back, shouting and demanding to know where MJF went, and he finds Daniels first and calls medics over. We see Don Callis hanging out with Kyle Fletcher in a bar in the upper deck of the arena. Renee Paquette is shown interviewing Jericho earlier tonight, and he talks up his match and says Renee must want to apologize for the way she treated him last week, and she says yes, and she wanted to ask how this match between Will Ospreay and Brian Keith came together, and Don Callis and Mark Davis come out of the room behind him. Callis says sometimes you need to outsource your solutions, and Jericho says this is a great way to prove that Brian Keith has what it takes to be a champion. The next match happened between Brian Keith versus Will Ospreay, and the result of this match was Will Ospreay defeated Brian Keith by pinfall with Hidden Blade. Post-match, Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay brawl in the crowd briefly before security pulls them apart. Back from the commercial, Mercedes cuts a promo on Momo Watanabe and she calls her out and throws a drink in Billy Stark's face and tells her to go fetch Momo. Billy asks her who she thinks she is. Mercedes lists off her accomplishments. Stark says she knows who she is, but she should look out behind her. Mercedes scoffs and Momo Watanabe attacks her from behind and Mercedes runs away, and Billy and Momo share a moment. The next match happened between Murder Machines versus the Outrunners, and the result of this match was the Outrunners defeated Murder Machines by pinfall when Lance Archer getting Floyd up for a powerbomb, but the Hurt Syndicate make their entrance for the distraction and Turbo Floyd pinned Lance Archer with a O'Connor roll. Back from the commercial, Shane Swerve Strickland makes his entrance, accompanied by Prince Nana, and he gets on the mic. He says this place is Swerve's house since the moment he walked in 3 years ago and looked Tony Schiavone dead in his eyes and told him he was gonna win AEW Championship Gold. It's fitting that we're wrapping up Black History Month, because he made Black History by becoming AEW World Champion. Night in, night out, he didn't just defend the title, he showcased it every night until All In. He's no one-hit wonder, but Prince Nana was right a few weeks ago when he said it's been too long since the world title was Swerve's focus, and make no mistake, he's still the man around here, and to prove it he needs gold around his waist. But first he has wrongs to right, starting with a bald-headed bifocal idiot walking around wearing a robe that doesn't belong to him, Ricochet. Rick says he's done and moving on to bigger and better things, but they're not done until he says they're done. Then comes Ricochet and says he's done and winners don't chase losers, and he has some choice local sports words. He's chasing gold and to be something that Strickland will never be again in AEW, a champion, so he will not be facing Shane again, not ever. Nana gets on the mic and says he has an offer that Ricochet might want to consider. He had a talk with Tony Khan and he agrees that the fans deserve a rematch. All Rick has to do is accept it, and TK also said the match can be an AEW World Championship #1 contenders match. Ricochet is frustrated but gives Nana credit where credit is due. That's good. All he has to do is whoop Swerve's ass one more time and his ticket to being a world champion is punched. He does that stupid bird laugh and he accepts the match, but not tonight. He wants to have the match at Revolution. Nana pulls Swerve aside after and says it's good that he's focused on the world title because he wants to see him go back to being who he says he is, the most dangerous man in AEW. He took a lot of bullets for Strickland and he lists them off before saying seeing Ricochet wearing his robe, his legacy, with something that means so much to him, he needs Shane to fix his legacy and get the robe back, or he doesn't know he can do this anymore. Renee Paquette interviews Hangman Page backstage and he says MJF is gone, but when he finds him, and he will, if he doesn't run him over, he'll wish that he had. The next match happened between Daniel Garcia and FTR versus Undisputed Kingdom, and the result of this match was Undisputed Kingdom defeated Daniel Garcia and FTR by pinfall with a jackknife pin from Adam Cole on Daniel Garcia. Post-match, a shoving match almost turns into a brawl as commentary announces that Tony Khan has already made a TNT Championship match for Adam Cole on Saturday. Adam Copeland and Claudio Castagnoli spill out of the back, brawling into the crowd. Adam Copeland and Claudio Castagnoli spill out of the back, brawling into the crowd. Castagnoli gets the better of him and takes him into the ring with Wheeler Yuta, blasting him with chair shots, setting him up for a concerto, but Switchblade Jay White makes the save. Copeland blasts Wheeler with the chair and takes Claudio out with a spear, then Marina Shafir choking Adam, but she gets taken out. More chair shots for Yuta and Castagnoli. Copeland wants a concerto, setting one up on Marina, and Jon Moxley fumes from behind the barricade. Before Adam can do anything, Willow Nightingale comes down and she grabs a chair, and finish Marina Shafir with a concerto. The next match happened between Deonna Purrazzo versus Harley Cameron, and the result of this match was Harley Cameron defeated Deonna Purrazzo by pinfall with an inverted twist of fate. Back from the commercial, we see Adam Copeland, Willow Nightingale, and Jay White loading Marina Shafir and Claudio Castagnoli into the ambulance and seeing them off. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Konosuke Takeshita versus Orange Cassidy for the AEW International Championship. We see that Takeshita takes Cassidy's sunglasses and bends them in half and takes a bite before throwing them out of the ring, so of course Orange pulls out a second pair and puts them on. Off the ropes, Konosuke with a shoulder block, he takes the new glasses and passes them to Don Callis, who puts them on and parades around ringside. Back from the commercial, Cassidy off the top, big elbow, off the ropes, Takeshita drops him with a lariat. Ducking, dodging, and denied, Stundog Millionaire countered into a Blue Thunder driver, but OC kicks out. Don Callis tries to get up from commentary and referee Bryce Remsburg practically tackles him to keep him in his seat, then fighting near the desk, and Orange hits a beach break through the announce desk. OC delivered a suicide dive and then Orange yanks his glasses off of Callis, heads back inside, dive countered. Stundog Millionaire counters a brainbuster, Cassidy is fired up, La Casadora countered, wheelbarrow tombstone piledriver in the middle of the ring. Orange reverses a follow-up into a rolling victory roll, but Konosuke kicks out. In the end, Konosuke Takeshita defeated Orange Cassidy by pinfall with a Revolution Falcon Arrow, retaining the AEW International Championship. Callis and Takeshita celebrates and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's AEW Dynamite show? Let me know in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe the channel. Please like the video and thanks for watching.